Welcome back to Safety Blitz. It is time for Turn the Page Tuesday, Rod. This is where we look at those teams where it maybe wasn't so positive. They got something they need to flip the script on. The Baltimore Ravens defensively picked apart by the Bengals. What pages do they need to turn, if you will?
I'm looking at the Ravens defense, and they played and did an excellent job against the Chargers a couple weeks ago and held Justin Herbert to 195 yards passing and 1 interception. They were after him. They hit him. They confused him. And then 2 weeks later, they come and play against a second-year quarterback, Joe Burrow, and look absolutely the complete opposite. And it's just like, how does that happen? How do you not come with the same focus? You know you're playing against some great, talented young players. And you know the Cincinnati Bengals are hungry, so you got to bring it every single week if you're the Baltimore Ravens defense.
You know what I think it is? I think that there is not a level of respect in the AFC North for the Bengals. I just don't believe that there is a level of respect. Now, there will be. I think it's developing. Be honest with you, I think it's here. They go into Pittsburgh, and they just hammered the Steelers. Now they go into Baltimore, and they destroy the Ravens. So it's here now. Make no mistake, the respect is there. But I just think that going into that game, there's still a little bit of snoozing going on. There's a little bit of they just don't see it yet. Now they're starting to feel it, right? But if you give me running back, 3 wide receivers, tight end, and quarterback, all of those positions, I don't know of a team or an offense that I'm taking over Cincinnati's right now. I don't know of anybody that has skill positions in the quarterback combo that's better. And this dude, Burrow, reminds me so much, and I've been saying it for 2 years now, the mind, the way he carries himself, his accuracy, he reminds me so much of the way that Tom Brady reads a defense. He loves to play from empty, just like Tom does, loves to use the run game, play the play action. Just the confidence, the way he stands tall back there, he reminds me so much of Brady, man. And with those weapons, I just think this is less about Baltimore's defense and more about the fact that we are seeing one of the premier offenses in all of football develop in front of our eyes right now. And believe it or not, it's right here in Cincinnati. I almost can't believe I'm saying it.
See, the one thing I'm a little disappointed in you because you sit back and you give all the players credit, but you won't take 20 seconds to give Zach Taylor some love. He's the head coach, but a guy like you from Cincinnati, you will kill him last year, but you won't even give him credit, and you have the platform right now to give him credit. So I'm sitting here listening. I want to see you give Zach Taylor, who deserves credit, because right now, who's the coach of the year? You tell me who's the coach of the year other than Zach Taylor.
It would have to be Taylor. I think the only one you could throw up there maybe is Staley with the Chargers. That may be the other one. Maybe McCarthy with the Dallas Cowboys. Cliff Kingsbury with Arizona you just threw in the mix. Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one too. But above them all right now, I think you probably would go from how ugly it was to how good it's become, first place in the whole AFC. He's got to be right up there. You know what was crazy, Rod, is we had him on the podcast, Joe Burrow on the podcast this offseason, and they asked him about Zach Taylor, and I didn't really know what his temperature would be on him, and he raved. I mean, he went on for 20 minutes, and he could have just given a positive answer about him, but, I mean, he went on and on and on about how he trusts him, how he asks him questions, how he's always calling the offense specific to what he likes and loves and the players he wants to get the ball to. And I was going, God, if Burrow feels that highly about him, and I know how they feel about Burrow, this coach must be the real deal, and it's played out just like that this season. So it's been really cool to watch.
See, a great point too, Jack. Those are conversations that happens on the practice field behind the scenes that we don't see. So, you know, the fact that you said that was great because it points out him coaching, him having those conversations, him communicating with his quarterback. Those are the conversations that fans don't see. And that's why I said it's Zach Taylor, because when your quarterback, your young quarterback, remember, he's coming off an ACL. And it's not like he's 100% because typically, and this is the point that nobody's making, typically I've had ACL. It takes 2 years to feel like yourself. This guy has come back less than 2 years. And he's playing phenomenal. He's playing phenomenal football. Right. So he's only going to get better the more comfortable he feels with his knee, because a lot of times you come off that ACL, your knee doesn't feel like it's there. You don't feel like it's there, so you don't have a lot of confidence. And he's moving around fine, but you give him another 6 to 8 months, man, and he's on, just give him more time. He's going to continue to get healthy.
Yeah, I mean, even the fact that he was able to play week 1, like everyone was like, even people in Cincinnati are like, whoa, like maybe we wait till week 3, week 4, give him an extra month to get healthy. And Joe was like, forget all that. I'm playing week 1. And for him to be playing like this, man, it's crazy to watch. Kansas City, talk about flipping the page. This is just the opposite side of all of it, right? The Kansas City Chiefs coming into this season, they're all the buzz, all the hype. Mahomes is going to be healthy. It's not going to be the beat-up Mahomes that we saw in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to be back. The Chiefs are not back. The Chiefs have been disgustingly horrible this season, and it probably came to the peak of the mountain against the Titans. They look terrible.
Yeah, we get a chance to see the type of leadership and the type of character guys that they have in their locker room, but it all started in the offseason when Patrick Mahomes, and he was guilty of it. He was the one talking about being 20-0 and, being undefeated. All these guys go out and they get paid. He gets $400 million. Chris Jones gets $100 million. And you just don't see the same hunger. You don't see the same effort. In 2019 when they won the Super Bowl, you don't see that. When you put on the tape, you don't see those guys flying around, sacrificing for each other, jumping over piles, just doing every single thing to win. Look at them. They're not even hustling. The offensive line is just jogging. And that's what happens when you get new guys that come to a new system. We could just show up. They got it all taken care of. We got Patrick Mahomes. No. Buffalo, you're standing in the way of Buffalo, Baltimore, all these teams, the Chargers, trying to get to the Super Bowl. So these guys are coming with a singular focus. They're trying to beat you. They're giving you everything they've got, and everything that they've done for their team is trying to beat you, whether it's picking up defensive guys. Look at the Chargers. They went out and got the defensive coordinator of the #1 defense in the National Football League last year to be their head coach, to come in and influence their defense. That's how important it is for them to be able to stop and compete against Kansas City.
It was 27-0 at halftime, this game. 27-0 at halftime. And if you watch it, it's not like fluky stuff. It is just the Tennessee Titans just hammered them in every which way. Kansas City's defense, they can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They look soft. They look horrible. It's just sloppy football. I mean, it's even when they blitz, they're not getting there, and there's wide open guys on the back end. It just looks bad. And then you watch the Chiefs' offense. They're not hungry. I see Mahomes talking to the ref more than I've ever seen him. He's like complaining about stuff. If people hit him, he's like, he can't wait to go chirp to the ref. It's like, whoa, when did he become Mr. Superstar Mahomes? This used to be a different kind of young cat, I mean, this was a guy that was like always playing on his toes and hungry, and I never saw that stuff from Mahomes. Even when he took off and ran in this first half, and it was a positive play. We just showed the highlight. He's carrying the football like he's going to throw it. When he's 15 yards down the field, he fumbles it and gives it right back to Tennessee. They go right back down for a touchdown. So it's just this sloppy football stuff, and I see him less confident in making those superhero plays now that the interceptions are there. I just don't see him having that, outworldly, that confidence that seemed to come from outer space. It was like we hadn't really seen it on an NFL field before. He doesn't play with that confidence anymore. It just looks like he's made mistakes now. He's holding the football for a long, long time, and he's getting hit really hard. This Chiefs team looks night and day different to me, night and day.
That's the point that you made. He's finally getting hit. And I had some defensive players tell me, they said, man, what you think about Mahomes now? He said, man, we're so upset at Mahomes because what Kansas City tries to do, they don't just try to beat you. They absolutely try to embarrass you. And they sit there and they laugh. And these defensive players told me, said, man, we're doing everything we can to beat these guys, to play physical with them, to hit them, because it's embarrassing as a team. You're going out there, he's flipping no-look passes, he's throwing sidearm, he's doing all these crazy things. It's embarrassing. So these guys understand it. Kansas City's offense is trying to embarrass them, so they come with a different mindset. And you see it, man, every single time they get an opportunity, they're punishing Patrick Mahomes. Now he finally gets to see that the NFL isn't as easy as he thought it was. I mean, he's a super talented kid. He's going to bounce back. I do believe they're going to bounce back, and they're going to be right there fighting for that 7-6 position in the AFC. But at the end of the day, man, it's humble pie going on. That's what we called it when I played. Kansas City getting a nice large piece of humble pie, and they really deserve it.
They needed it. They needed it. Now it's a matter of can they come up with answers to this test? Because we were saying for a while now, we've been saying it for a month plus, There's a whole new book out. There's a whole new defensive strategy to play in these guys, Rod. Playing all these two deep safeties, and everybody's doing the same thing. And they're getting pressure on Mahomes with 4 because he's holding the ball for 4 seconds. I mean, he's just holding the ball forever, and he's getting hit, and he's trying to throw it to receivers who are double covered and stuff. It just looks weird. When you watch the Chiefs offense without the big play, it really does look strange. Let's get to our third turn the page. It's kind of a fun one. Mike Evans, he catches this touchdown. It's the 600th touchdown from Brady. And what's he do going up there into the stands? Did you see this moment, Rod? What the hell was this?
I actually did, and I'm saying, like, what the heck is Mike Evans doing? I'm like, that's Tom's ball. Don't get that ball up. You know how much money that ball is worth? Like, dude, if I had that ball, I could retire. I could retire. But I'm glad the fan gave it back. Look at Mike. And let me tell you something. If Rob Gronkowski, if he was healthy, you know Tom Brady would have definitely thrown that ball to him.
Look at the compensation, though. Look at the compensation. I was loving. So Tom went on last night with Peyton, and he did the whatever the heck they call that thing, Peyton and Eli broadcast on ESPN 2, and I was tuning in because I was enjoying it. But look what he did. He basically, Peyton's going, dude, he gave up. The fan gave up all his leverage when he handed the football back, and that is true. I mean, I think he could have been sitting up watching the rest of the season with Giselle, but instead he gets a Bitcoin worth an estimated $61,000. You get all the tickets, you get the $1,000 credit, you get the this, you get the that, but the $61,000 with the Bitcoin, that sounds pretty sweet, man. That could go up in value too. Bitcoin's hot. Bitcoin's hot.
Dude,
right
what
now.
you do, and what you do is you just give that to your kid and forget about it, right? So in 30 years, it might be worth $1 million. It might be worth $2 million. You just give it to your kid. You don't even touch it. You just put it away for your kid.
It could be worth more than that. It could be worth even more than that. Hey, speaking of money, Rod, I forgot to do this because I told you I had a great story up top. Now I actually want to circle back for it, right? We'll take a break right after this, but this story is pretty entertaining. So I'm coming down here. I run out of gas. I look at my gas tank, and I'm going, I got 0 gas. I'm not going to make it in to do the show with Rod. So I pull off into this gas station, and this thing is as packed as any gas station I've ever been to in my life, right? And I'm sort of just finding my way in between about 9 cars. I put the thing in my car, I'm putting the gas in, and I decide I got to go. I'm running out of time. I got to take this thing out. I got about $50 worth of gas in the tank. It's plenty, right? So I go to pull this thing out. You know how they can lock? How that little gas thing can lock?
Oh.
You know, you need the trigger to kind of come. It locks up tight. Rod, I got a squirt gun. I'm just squirting cash all over the entire gas station. Every car, it's bouncing off my car. I got it on my clothes. I've been huffing gasoline ever since this thing. I mean, people were getting out red Solo cups just trying to get a little bit of my gas. I'm just spraying it everywhere. I must have sprayed $50 worth of gasoline all over Cincinnati, Ohio tonight.
Well, don't light a
Chris
match
Farley
now.
stuff, man.
Hey, man, thank you for the
You're not kidding.
sacrifice.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.